Let's watch some Barry Morphew and Suzanne Morphew videos. First of all, let's just take a look at that picture. You got Barry Morphew walking into a hotel with two shovels. He's a millionaire, right? He's got that big ass house, all that property. What the hell are you going to the hotel for? With two?
Involving a Chaffee County man accused of killing his wife. Tonight, for the first time, we're seeing some of the
Say he's from
photographic
Chaffee
evidence
County.
submitted in the Barry Morphew murder case. Good evening. I'm Mallory Anderson in for Bart tonight. And I'm Heather Skold. Tonight, a first look at evidence in the murder case against accused wife killer Barry Morphew. The mother of his two daughters vanished Mother's Day weekend 2020. KRDO News Channel 13 Sydney Stell combed through the new photos released by a Chaffee County judge today. She's live in the studio. Sydney.
Well, Heather, Mallory, you can see a photo here of Barry Morphew in a Denver hotel, or a suburban Denver hotel, I should say, on the day that his wife disappeared back in 2020. Investigators say these photos helped show that he made several trips to dumpsters that day. This photo shows him holding shovels in the hotel lobby. He told law enforcement he was there for a construction job, but they later found out he was not permitted to use his heavy equipment because it was a Sunday. His wife's body still has not been found. These photos show scratches on Barry's hands and arms taken in the days after his wife's disappearance. The court also released photos Friday of Suzanne's bedroom, where a shell casing was found, and of the tranquilizer dart found in the home's dryer trap. Suzanne's...
Apparently, the FBI thinks that Barry Morphew shot his wife with a tranquilizer dart, ran around the house, and then disposed of her body. They found the bike, but they found no signs of distress or anything. Just a bike sitting out in the middle of nowhere. A lot of crazy circumstantial evidence. I remember just recently, he goes to his truck right after some court proceedings. He's running to his truck and he's got his two daughters. Now, if he's innocent, then that's beautiful. His two daughters are standing, side by side. They just lost one parent. They're not trying to lose two. But if he's guilty, right, he's either guilty or not guilty. If he's guilty, then that's hey, daughters. If he did that, he could do that to you. If he could do that to somebody else, if he could do that to your mother, he could do that to you too. He could do that to his daughters. So that's super fucked up. That's super fucked up. Guys, quit being mean to my papa. He only what? Are you sure? So there's a lot of circumstantial evidence, and apparently they interviewed him several times. I want to know, I want to hear him explain the shovels and the pictures and the bicycle and, dumping crap in the dumpster in town. He's got all those acres and acres. They look like they're the perfect couple, right? They're both beautiful people, kind of. He's actually more beautiful than she. But they're both dolled up and got nice tans, and so they got nice clothes on. They seem to be. And then, apparently she had an affair for 2 years, so that had to be hell, living with a person that's having an affair with somebody else that loves and adores somebody else, and they're just lying to you, just right to your face. Why didn't she get a divorce? So that had to be, traumatic. Morphew, Barry and Suzanne Morphew. Is it Morphew? I mean, with that name, how can you not be confused? Barry and Suzanne Morphew. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at a couple more. Lots of circumstantial evidence.
purse was left behind in her car. Evidence shows the purse and all of its contents, including her wallet with cash, her ID, her credit cards, all things investigators say someone would not leave behind if they just ran away to start a new life. We're also seeing new photos of Suzanne's bike and helmet. Barry told law enforcement that he believed his wife was out for one of her regular bike rides when something must have happened to her. This is where her bike and her helmet were found in relation to her home. Investigators said they didn't find any evidence of an attack or crash when they found her bike, and you can see the condition that her bike was found in, along with a partial photo of her helmet. Now, a new judge just took over the case following a conflict of interest with the last judge. Barry Morphew will head back to court next week, and his trial is expected to begin in May. Reporting from our studio, I'm Suzanne, KRDO News Channel 13.
So, what in the hell is going on?
He is too good at the manipulation. I feel stuck. Those are text messages from Suzanne Morphew to one of her friends. They've been released, revealing new details about Barry Morphew, her husband, who is suspected of her murder. Our Jamie Leary live tonight from our newsroom. And Jamie, you've been working this case month after month. It's just exploded with more than 100 pages of new evidence.
It really has exploded with pages of evidence. We're talking about terabytes of information here. And all of this we've heard in court, but these are images that we have never seen before, has not been released to the public. What you won't find in there is an indication of where Suzanne, her body is, or a single drop of blood. There is.
What was she expecting the Mr. Cowboy to come take her away? She could have just walked away, gone for a different life. So it does seem to be incredible. 2-year-long affair. Now she doesn't deserve to be killed. But it's motive is what it is. It's motive.
However, a lot of pieces to this puzzle a potential jury is going to be made to sift through. There are pages of text messages between Suzanne and her closest friend Sheila, telling her that Barry is manipulating and trying to pull their daughters into fights. In one text, it appears they did involve the girls. Suzanne wrote, "He sat there as the ringleader the day he cut himself." She's talking about a work injury. "And told them all of the things I believe and got them all upset and was just sitting back and egging on, as if he felt justified and happy they were taking his side." In another text, Suzanne mentions to Sheila making things work with Barry only until her youngest is old enough to be out of the house. She said Barry's response was, "Okay, let's just tell the girls I'm leaving and how you feel you don't want me." You can see the picture the prosecution is trying to paint with these texts. Within the documents, you'll also see images of scratch marks on Morphew's arm, taken just days after Suzanne disappeared by investigators. There's also the sheath to the dart cap found in the
Maybe we'll watch one more.
And it's easy to get a quote at libertymutual.com, so you only pay for what you need. Isn't that right, Limu? Limu? Sorry, one sec.
So invest in Liberty Mutual.
Suzanne Morphew, a Colorado mother of two. She vanished on Mother's Day in May of 2020. You may have been familiar with the story. At first, it was thought that she was abducted after heading out on her mountain bike. Authorities also had her husband Barry in their sights, though. But there were a lot more bizarre clues and twists and turns in this story than anyone could have anticipated. So 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Zandt has that.
They always say, it's the husband, but they also say it's the butler. Did they have a butler? They seem like they would have people, a gardener and a butler. They seem like they would be the type of assholes that would.
Suzanne Morphew murder case presented investigators with a puzzle. How to decipher a mountain of evidence that included a chipmunk alibi, a tranquilizer gun, and a pen right out of a James Bond film.
They find a spy pin. It looks something like this, and they find it in the master bedroom of the Morphew home.
Ashley Franco has covered this case for KKTV.
It looks like a normal pen. It writes, but it can record any type of audio as long as it hears sound.
The pen captured Suzanne talking to a secret lover. Her husband, Barry, apparently was unaware. Investigators believe Barry killed Suzanne because she had told Barry she was done with their marriage.
The prosecution's case is that Barry snapped at one point, the day before Mother's Day.
Prosecutors assume Suzanne, a mother of two, is dead. Her body has not been.
Prosecution's case.
So Barry claims to have shot at chipmunks on the day Suzanne, his wife, was thought to have vanished. Rather, prosecutors believe that he shot her with a tranquilizer gun. What sort of evidence do they have about the level of experience Barry had as a hunter?
Well, Barry had told investigators several times that he is an avid hunter, and there's all of that evidence right coming from him, actually. He admitted that he used to load
Tranquilizer darts? Maybe it's humane. There's chipmunks that run around. He looks guilty. So really, he should be focused on finding the real killers. Where is she? So far, they haven't found the body. Day before Mother's Day, too. He totally broke. She totally broke him. Destroyed his entire worldview. And then was like, did something terrible. Or maybe it's somebody else. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows, man? I mean, you gotta convince a jury of 12 unanimously beyond a reasonable doubt. So it's all circumstantial evidence, and I feel like there's lingering reasonable doubt. Anyways, so that's a little bit about the Morphew case.